Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope you all are well. I hope you all are doing fantastic. I started a little later today. I think there was going to be a second stream on Ollie's channel. So I decided to go a little a little later. I think he was going to be on. Oh, let me check if he's still on. I didn't check. I just set it to 9. Let me see. Okay, I think he finished. Yeah, I think he finished. I don't know. I think he's doing an extra show. I'm gonna try to coordinate with him for tomorrow because I don't really know what's going on. Maybe that's a future plan, but I was like, wait a minute, if he's gonna start a stream and I stream at the same time, it's not gonna be good. So I waited an hour, but I'm trying. I'm gonna try to coordinate. Like I told you guys, my goal is to go live at 8 this week. There was a little snafu yesterday that I was like about 5-10 minutes late, but that's not the goal here. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Hi, Shauna. Hope you're well. Hope everybody's doing good, doing well. There was a Weird Al Yankovic song that really expressed the difference between doing good and doing well. It was based off Blurred Lines. You guys ever hear that song, Blurred Lines? Or there's one called Word Crimes. Very good. Oh, wait, got a message from my little girl, my princess. Let me answer super quick. Tenemos que repasar esto en algún punto, mi amor. No quiero que se sigan acumulando los repasos. El quiz es pro. All right. Hi, everyone. Did you guys check out my thumbnail? I made a very nice thumbnail. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's about we talked a little bit about this in the previous show. We talked about how much let me make sure my mic is actually pointing at my mouth. It's very important. But also not so. Is that better? Maybe I sound better? There we go. Da 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 da. Here. Okay. Uh, can you guys see this? I'm hoping you can. So the people at Seoul, this is like these socialists, I think basically stole the election. And that's why these socialist pieces of shit are in charge and they don't want to pay what they fucking owe. So Korea got to pay what it fucking owe, and there's no protection without payment. You can call it the mafia, but if you hire a security guard for your store and you don't pay him, he's gonna fucking leave. And that's not him being a mafia because he's not forcing you to take the. He's not threatening you with breaking your stuff. He's threatening with leaving. If you don't pay your security guard at your store and he leaves, that's not a mafia tactic. A mafia tactic is if he breaks your store. We're not threatening Seoul with bombing them. We're saying, okay, you're not going to pay them. We're getting the fuck out. Oh, you had a contract where you're supposed to help us. You can't be. Oh, you can't be a friend. Well, fuck you. You're not going to help us with the run. Okay, well, fuck you. And I think their fucking election was stolen. This is my opinion, and we're going to go over some of that data because I think their fucking election was stolen. as far as the Indo-Pacific, we're not stepping back from the Indo-Pacific. What we're fucking doing is stepping away from people that don't fucking help. If you're not fucking helping, we don't want to fucking be with you. Japan didn't want to help, but then it did things to help. They said, look, I don't want to be involved in Iran. I still don't want to be involved in Iran, right? But I mean, here's the thing. I'll help you. I'll build some patriots for you. How about that? How about I build patriots for you and I build some for myself and I help you with manufacturing. That way I'm not directly involved with the Iran thing, but I am helping you, my US partner. Well, then we said, okay, then I'll help you with your yen problem. You have a yen problem, I have a Patriot missile problem, we help each other out. That works great. Japan is actually helping India, sending their F-2. The F-2 is, I believe, an F-16 variant, a very good one, and that's great. And Seoul is trying to save face by pushing self-reliance, but the problem with Seoul is that they got a socialist piece of shit government now. Oh yeah, some of the South Koreans have a lot. Look, the thing with South Korea is they have a lot of influence operations, just like they do in the USA. They have Chinese influence operations. Like some of the problems that we had with our university students being actually like Chinese spies is that they would go get fake ass degrees in Korea and then come here from Korea, but their degrees were fake, and that's why they got sent back. There was a big scandal about it in Korea. And now look at this, like Wang Yi, the head Seoul diplomat, is heading over to South Korea. I imagine him and the fucking president of Seoul is gonna go, suck each other off or something. Putin is fucking around with Japan too because he is visiting some islands that belong to Japan, but Russia wants to claim. And the Chinese Coast Guard, which is a piece of shit Coast Guard to be like, it might be a nice Coast Guard, but they act like it's like a fucking military, and they're trying to expand their presence around the Philippines, raising regional concerns. So that's pretty much what's going on. I wanted to go a little bit into this news because the thing that has South Korean shit is not the people. I'm sure most of the people are fine, right? But like even if the most of the people are fine, it's a problem if your election gets stolen, and that's what I suspect happened in Korea. Their election got fucking stolen, just like they do over here. I want to get into a little bit of that. And well, I gotta set up wait a minute, I got a message. So, okay. Yeah, I know we have to study the 3 pages. You have to ask it what is in the raspasos is what will be in the exam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Family sending messages. I gotta answer before people go to sleep. So that's the problems we've been facing in the Indo-Pacific. There are, like good and bad things happening. But I went over some of this today in the morning show and we talked a little bit about it. Now, I may start to go a little bit into yeah, this is the document. I'm also creating a let me see. I'm gonna try to separate all of this into a text that I can put it in a different prompt because I mixed prompt. And I'm actually writing an article about the infiltration of K through 12, uh, K through K through 12. What do I call education NGOs, like pushing money into NGOs, the Qataris, the Japanese, the not the Japanese, the Chinese, the Saudis, pushing money into NGOs that retrain our school kids to hate Israel and hold on. Hate Israel and yeah, they want to push this propaganda into our schools like we deserve 9/11. We I don't know. We deserve 9/11 was one of them. What's happening in Gaza is a genocide. Things that K through 12, like you should have a solid foundation on history before you go into current topics. And you shouldn't be teaching that. Maybe 11, 12, you can start saying, okay, you're going to have to start, getting into how do I discern lies from truth in current news. You might do that at 11 or 12, but that's not what they're doing. They're being completely, biased, right? So that's not good teaching. I'm also writing like that's what I was like all that stuff is something that I'm going to make an article on. I've made like two articles. This would be the third one. And we're going to get into a little bit of that because I might like talk a little bit about the article, and I'll probably post it tomorrow if I don't post it tonight. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Uh, what is the goal? Getting a deal with people that you can't negotiate with? What are you talking about? We're talking about K through 12 school and South Korea. What is this? What is the goal? Making a deal with people you can't negotiate with? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what you guys are talking about. If you're gonna disrupt the chat, we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna time you out because I don't want people spamming a different subject here to like mess with the flow of the show. All right. I want to save this topic, so I'm gonna create. I'm doing using a little bit of an AI, so I can put all this into one side and just save this topic. Then I can pin it and call it South Korea election problems. There we go. And then I want to save this other topic as Islamic interference in K through 12 education. Okay. Interference in K through 12 education. Save data. There. All right. There we go. Now we're gonna switch to this window. Uh oh, get the wrong face on. Let me see. Stop sharing that. Start sharing. Oh, where did I go? Where am I? Oh no. Oh no. There I am. Share screen, share window, and audio. We're gonna do an audio test too. Okay. So we're gonna get those are my main two topics. The main topic and is this about the South Korea thing, and then we'll get more into the other stuff. They do Al Hamut, the entire country. We made a long siege, but not enough armament for it on our side. Iranian dream was prepared. Okay. They wanted to change history of Alamo and Texas history in school. I remember that. I remember that. What was what was the name? It was the same name as the book's depository. Hey, there was a book company accused of being biased in books. They're also, I think, have the same name as the book depository that was related to the JFK assassination. Like, no tie to the assassination, just the name. It's a coincidence. What was the name of that bookmaking institution?
Skyhorse Publishing. That's the one. They're known for picking up books that other publishers drop because of
No, 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 no. You
controversy.
stupid
Like,
piece of shit. Texas School Book. That's the one. I'm not asking you if they publish controversial shit. I'm asking you if they make school books and some of their school books were found controversial.
Texas School Book Depository. That's the exact name. It was a private company that warehoused and distributed school textbooks from publishers like McGraw-Hill, Scott Forsman, and others. The building in Dallas got famous because
Okay,
Lee
okay,
Harvey
that's enough.
Oswald
Were you guys able to hear her? Is the audio working
got
good?
it,
Like
stopping
if
right
I
there.
yeah, okay. If I play the audio, is it gonna work? I don't know. Like I can see you. I can see your chats. Like I'll highlight one. There you go. Like I can see your chats. I don't know if you can't see it. You got to remember there's a delay. Every time I use these things, there's a delay. All right. Okay. If you're just going to be annoying, like I don't have to have you on my show. Yeah. Like I was saying, oh, and remember, chat, if I just don't like your attitude, I'll put you on timeout till tomorrow. Don't come at me with disrespect. Don't think you're going to I'm going to allow a bad interaction with me that I'm not having that. So it's not going to happen. We can have a disagreement, and if you're logical about your disagreement, we can talk about it. But if you're just going to be an asshole, I'm going to show you that. I'm not going to let you do that. If you're like a TDS asshole that's always crying about what Trump did, what Trump didn't do, if you're a one subject Andy, that no matter what fucking chat you're in, you're always talking about the same goddamn thing, spamming the same fucking subject, I'm going to ban you on my stream. I don't put up with that shit. We got news to go through. We're going to go through the news. I'm not going to derail from talking to you guys about the news by one motherfucker that wants to argue because I get my shits and giggles from arguing with people. That's not my thing. Some people think like, hey, this teaches people how to arguing, and arguing is great. Good. That's fine. People can have that opinion. I don't have that opinion. I can adapt to it. I can become an angry arguing motherfucker, but I don't like it. I actually do not enjoy it at all. I just do it because I got to. I'll play my role. I'll chimp out and play the role of the guy that chimps out, but it's not something that I enjoy. It's something that I do because I have no choice. And people say, "Oh, monkey just likes to argue. Monkey just likes to argue." No, that's not true at all. I'm just playing my part. It's a job. I hate it. I also don't like overly agreeable people. Like I can't be like, "Oh, well, we have to be nice." No, you don't have to be nice. So it was a Texas school book depository. I think the Texas school books is some of the people that look at this. They wanted to add Muslims to the history of the Alamo. That is so fucked up. That is so like beyond the pale. Okay, so here's one thing I want to talk about, and it's this thing with Seoul. Like we're gonna find some Fox News stuff, and I think it's gonna be clickbaity, and I think it's not gonna go into some of the main problems that Seoul is facing. Right? Let's go with today. Yeah, this I think the day he got nominated, someone tried to kill him. That's what happened to Scotty B. I have like blames Israel. Doesn't sound like, we didn't do it. Here's who did it. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Israel. I'm gonna tell you something right now, right off the bat, and I'm gonna put this news on because I'm gonna explain something to you militarily that is what makes all of this bullshit. What? Carville. What is faces off with Carville? No, I don't think they're gonna face off. They're probably gonna agree that the DSA is retarded. This is okay. Fox News, South Korea, and we're gonna go to today. Okay, so we got nothing on this yet. We're gonna check Twitter for that. God damn it. Let me see if I can recover that screen where I was. There we go. We're gonna play this and see what's going on with this. The hell?
Threatening to President Trump issuing a new.
Can you guys hear this? I hope you can. Yes, you can hear. All right, let's play it.
Warning to Oman, threatening to bomb the U.S. ally if it gets in the way of efforts to reach a deal with Iran and reopening the Strait of Hormuz because they've been working, dealing with each other and cut us out.
Meanwhile, new strikes in Syria overnight have the region on edge.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Ying joins us live from Tel Aviv with the new details. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Reports indicate Israel launched strikes against a Syrian airbase overnight, prompting U.S. Ambassador Tom Barrack to release a statement saying we are deeply concerned. He went on to say an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability.
What's the name of the
Now,
airbase?
I
Wait.
spoke with a senior Israeli escalator to release a statement saying, yeah, hey guys, good morning. Reports indicate Israel launched strikes against a Syrian airbase overnight, prompting U.S. Ambassador Tom Barrack to release a statement saying we are deeply concerned. He went on to say an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability. Now, I spoke with a senior Israeli official about these reports, and they responded saying highly sensitive intelligence was shared with the United States and advanced at the most senior levels of the various agencies and bodies. This official went.
That's my point. They can't do that without permission. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is no way Israel can strike Syria without U.S. giving the green light. All U.S. has to do to stop them, say no, don't do it. They don't even have. They could lie. Yeah, we have personnel in that base. If you kill one of ours, you're gonna be in the deepest shit you could ever fucking imagine. So if you dare make one fucking strike, we're gonna have a goddamn fucking problem like you have never seen before. Don't you fucking dare strike, and they won't do it. So this strike, like good cop, bad cop. When Jolani's being a bad boy, Trump says, "Hey, Bibi, do me a little favor. Can you spank this motherfucker for me?" That's what's going on.
Went on to say al-Shara understands that he cannot operate like the previous Syrian regime, which maintained proxy forces. It's possible he didn't understand what was going on or didn't know. They could not provide any additional details due to the classified nature of this intelligence. But this comes as...
So they have classified intelligence that there's proxies. They were bombing. Yes, yes. Someone here knows what's up. They were bombing proxies. That's the real deal. That's why I don't like it when they phrase it like this. And I'll go further. I'll go further. This kabuki theater, like they didn't have permission, is just helping Bibi look independent for his election. Like, I don't need permission. Yes, you do, motherfucker. If we don't give the green light and we tell you we have personnel there right now, oh, but there's some like proxies there. Yeah, we're about to arrest them. And if you arrest my officers that are about to arrest them because you didn't fucking ask first, we're going to have a fucking problem. Yeah, they might have actionable intelligence, but their intelligence is going to talk to our intelligence before they launch. Absolutely, not acceptable. That we're not having that shit. You can't do that without permission. What I think is going on, we're not having that. What I think is going on, let me make sure I open both streams. What I think is going on is that, no, not this one. No. This one. Here, I want to be able to make sure I see you guys on both channels. Let me check Armin's channel. Yeah, I can see here. I want to be able to make sure I see you guys on both channels. Let me check Armin's channel. I gotta see on 3 apps. I gotta see the stream itself, but I can't really see who is talking where unless I have it open on my own stream and Armin's stream, so I know who is where. There we go. This one is Armin. This one is mine. So that if people are spamming, I can make sure I get rid of them. Don't spam, guys. I can block you everywhere if you spam. And I'll take a picture first. All right. So that's the situation here.
As we are tracking the latest developments between Iran and the United States, the memorandum of understanding expiring yesterday with no
Okay, so here's a question. Why does U.S. keep telling Israel what they can and cannot do to defend themselves? That's not the question. Why does Israel answer to us? Why? Why do they do that? Huh? Aren't they supposed to do what their elected officials tell them? Isn't that Israel's problem? If Israel wants to not listen to US, they can. They absolutely can. Why? I know the rules. If he wants to ban evade so he can appear on my screen after I literally took him off my screen, because I am allowed to not have anyone I don't want on my screen during my show, I will do what I need to do. And this is being recorded. Jew hater doesn't get to come over here and super chat Armin to disrespect me. This is one of the first things I did when I talked to Armin about coming together, about being a part of this. This was one of the first things we discussed. And if there is a mod that is going around my timeout and it's not him coming up with 20 different fucking accounts to evade the timeout, we're going to have a fucking problem. Because the first thing we established is when I'm running my show, if I don't like what they're doing, if they're disrespecting me, I can time them the fuck out. They don't have to be on my screen if I don't want them on my screen. That was one of the first things I talked to Armin about. Not Jew hater. I don't care if you love Armin. I don't care if you suck his fucking dick every day. I don't care if he super chat him $1 billion. I don't give a shit. That's one of the first things we discussed. And if he is spamming because the mods are allowing him to spam and evade the spam rule, then we're going to have a fucking problem. Because this was the first thing I discussed with Armin. Okay, you do your show your way. But just because you're not here doesn't mean that this guy that kisses your ass all fucking day with super chats on your channel, he doesn't get to come here and talk shit about me on my channel just because we're on both channels. They don't get to be nice to you and kiss your ass on your channel and then come spam when you're not around. They don't get to be nice to you on your channel and then talk shit about me and I have to keep it on the screen because you're not around to stop it. This guy is spamming the same fucking emoji over and over. That's why I put him on timeout. When I saw him ban evaded, his timeout evaded, I banned his fucking extra account or whatever. I don't care if he has 20, 30 accounts. You start with coming up with when you're evading, that's just as bad. That's worse actually than spamming because you were put on timeout because you broke the rules and you want to go around breaking the rules. Okay, so now you're doing it worse. That's a fucking problem. You don't get to disrespect me. You don't get to disrespect Ali on his show if he's alone because you kiss Armin's ass and you give Armin money. You don't get to disrespect Guy on his channel, on his show when he's on because you're on the Liberty Politics channel. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. That's exactly who I'm talking about. First of all, he kept spamming about a different subject. I said, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're fucking talking about, but I'm not talking about, I don't know what it was. It was like, let me go back in the stream. I'll find it. Because I pulled it up. He was talking about something about Iran and making deals. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with Korea. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
but you're trying to
Derail
and
the
making
fucking
deals.
chat. Now, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. It's my choice. And if I want to talk about this, I'll talk about this. I'm not having ban invaders like talk shit on my show, on my screen, because they kiss Armin's ass or they kiss a mod's ass or they kiss whoever's ass. I'm not having that shit. And if you think complaining is going to help you, I'm going to let you in on a little fucking secret. One of the reasons I'm on the show is because there's a lot of complaints. Armin has done some AI study that the more people complain about someone, the more people watch. Ban evading is if I put you on timeout and you show up again on a different account or you show up again somehow, and I personally know I put you on timeout because I don't want you on my fucking screen, and you show up again, you know what that means? That means you're evading because I put you on timeout. And if I put you on timeout and you somehow show up again, you're evading. I don't want them back. I put you on timeout. I don't want to fucking hear you. I don't want to fucking see you. Stop spamming. Don't come up with the same spam. You spam an emoji, spam emoji, spam emoji, come back and spam again, you're getting banned because you're fucking spamming. That's the rule. Not fucking having this shit. Yeah. You can't, if you get a timeout as a warning because you're spamming and you come back to spam, you get banned because you're spamming. You're spamming. If you're spamming, you get banned. You may get a warning first, which is what happened, and you come back and do the same shit. I don't give a shit. I'm not getting your fucking money. And you can't pay Armin to disrespect me. Because that's one of the things I told him. Hey, look, they want to give you money, but they can't pay you to disrespect me. And he said, hey, if you feel that's disrespectful, I won't even show it on the screen. We can time them out, and I won't even show it on the screen. That's one of the first things I discussed with him. You're asking questions. I'm answering your questions. That's what it has to do with you. If you ask a question, I'll ask, don't tell me what to do. Be the bigger man. What are you talking about? I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I want to talk to my audience about the rules. Do you have a problem with that? Are you bigger than Armin now that you're going to tell me how I run my channel and what I can talk to my audience about? Like, you can leave. Like, you feel free to leave. You don't have to watch my show if you don't like it. But if I want to have a talk with everybody that's watching on my channel and Armin's about how I run my show, because Ali runs his show his way, Guy runs his show his way. When Sid starts his channel, when Naitani starts his channel, he's going to run his way. He's going to have his rules. His rules may be drastically different than mine. Guy's rules are probably drastically different than mine. Okay, I know you're one of my guys. Mr. Desync, I know you're one of my guys. You probably came to me organically. That's fine. But I run a concurrent stream on 2 channels, right? I put that on 2 channels. And the other channel that I'm running on is from a different group. Because I'm on both channels are on the screen. Like, sometimes if you're on my channel, if you're one of the people that came to me organic, right? And you're seeing messages on the screen that you're not seeing on my chat, that's because there's 2 channels running. Now, the other channel that kind of helped me do all this shit, kind of like, told me, look, you got to do it. You got to be on. I want you to have a voice out there. I want you to fucking put your message out there. And I told him, look, like people fucking hate me. Like I don't take anybody's bullshit. I don't do it. Like I don't think people are gonna want me around because I'm not gonna hold back. I don't know how to hold back. I'm gonna fucking chimp out. They said, no problem. I don't care. That's exactly what I want. Like we're doing like a good cop, bad cop thing. Like that people love that shit. You know, you chimp out. I don't care. I look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. The chimping out works. We're getting better numbers on the chimp outs. I don't even like it. I don't like being stressed out. But that's what works, so I'll fucking do it. I'll be the bad guy. I don't give a shit. So that's what's going on. So if you see messages that are here, but you can't see where they came from, they're coming from the other channel. That's the thing. Like once in a while, I'll share both channels so you guys can subscribe. Like there's very few. Like I'm telling you, this other channel that I'm on has like 100,000, 200,000. I don't even know how many 100,000 subscribers on it. I barely got 1,000. This is my second channel where I'm gonna get over 1,000 because I've done this all before and just walked away from all of it before too. Because I didn't support the cause I was with before. It was crowdfunding. The crowdfunders were stealing from people, comic books, a whole bunch of different campaigns. I don't like talking about it. The point is, like I've done this before. But I wasn't here for arguments. I was told, look, your arguments are the best part. People love it when you do it. When we do the clips, your clips, when you're arguing, it's the best thing we do. Your voice needs to get out there. I need you to make a channel. Come on, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. I'm like, you know what? I don't believe anybody wants to hear what I said. This is the discussion I had with Armin. Like it's a text discussion. It's all on Telegram. I got all the fucking text. When I told you that Armin loves it when I fucking argue, I can fucking prove it. So you can go cry to him. Go cry to him if you want. You like it too? Thank you, Amberly. You can go fucking cry to him. I'm not gonna show it because I'm not gonna dox our conversation. But I guarantee you that going crying to Armin is not gonna fucking work. Because I'm doing exactly what I'm here to do. I'm here to chimp out and talk about America. Guy is gonna talk about Israel. Sid is gonna be a chill dude, I'm guess. Because he is way more chill. Everybody has their the part to play. Like maybe Texas starts a channel. He is gonna have a view on politics that may be more focused on the Southwest, right? Or on the South, right? And she may have more insight into the culture of the South. Like we all have things to bring. I'm bringing what I'm supposed to bring. One of the first conditions I laid out, and I got all the fucking text to back this up. I even like back up all the shit that I do. I fucking screen record. Like I'm very paranoid because I don't like people selling me one thing and then changing it. One of the first thing I was told, look, no one can disrespect you. If they start doing it, even if we're on my show and you're feeling disrespected, we could put that person on timeout. You can't, people are spamming. That you can also block that when they do it on your channel. You can block it on both sides because the chats are going to be from both channels. People that are like, they started doing this more recently. They started doing when they start doing PDF type comments. Like they really like that. Like Durkas, they say, ooh, I really like, very young, blah, 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 American, blah, blah, blah. And they start like making when the Jew haters start making those comments, those can get automatically banned. I don't even need to get to 3. You make one of those comments, you're one of this, Mohammed married a 9-year-old, and that's a great thing. I can fucking ban you instantly. Forever. You want to cry to Armin, you want to cry to whoever, go fucking cry. Cry me a fucking river. I don't give a shit. My chat, my rules. Don't fucking evade. I don't care how much money you pay. You better come back with some respect, or and you better not say the same thing. And that includes, I'm gonna let me see if he tries this other type of spam, because there's a different kind of spam where people, there's a way to spam and not spam, and people say, oh, I can get away with spamming it if I do it this way. Let's see if they try it again. Like you have been warned. You have been warned. Why does Armin let me on? Why does Armin let me chimp out? Because those were his instructions to me. I have them written down. That's what I'm supposed to. I'm doing what I'm fucking supposed to do. And if I want to chimp out for a fucking hour, I'll fucking do it. If we're going to have a session and we're going to talk with it, because, hey, there's 800 people. Like the last time I saw this conversation, last time we had this conversation on my channel, last time we had this specific conversation on my channel was about 400 subscribers ago. Right? So there's a lot of new people that don't know what I'm talking about. So every once in a while, because there's new people every day, like I gotta refresh the people that on my show, the chat has to follow my rules. If you don't, if you disrespect me, if I don't like the way you're talking to me, if you go through this shit, I'm gonna time you out. If you do it over and over, I'm gonna ban you. I'm just gonna do it. And I think if I can also go back into 20 streams and find that you say the same shit in every stream, I can ban you because you're fucking spamming. No, this isn't the Iran war show. My show is about America. It may touch on Iran if that's the subject, but this show is more about America, American politics, and Americans' relationship with other people. On today's show, we were talking about Americans' relation with Syria and Israel, with the strikes on Syria. Like you have the morning show is 3 hours about Iran. Then you have a 2-hour discussion group that usually is about Iran. And then with Ali, there's another 3-hour to 2-hour-and-a-half show about Iran. That's about 3, 5, 7 to 8 hours on Iran. The reason I was brought here was so I can speak about America. Guy is there to speak about Israel. That's usually about 1 hour, sometimes 2. I think it's 2, actually. Oh, you're gonna spam? If you're spamming, you're banned. I took pictures of the spam, you're banned. Some people appear to be taking advantage that because Harmon isn't here, they think they can disrespect me, that I have to take their shit. That's not happening. Not at all. I know there's a lot of people that use the rules to try to skirt the rules. Like, oh, I'm not doing this exact thing this exact way. I'm sorry. The rules go by the spirit of the rule. If you're breaking the spirit of the rule, it doesn't matter if you're not breaking the letter of the rule. Yeah, Hoppo was saying, speak about what you want. That was the whole point. That's one of the main reasons. One of the things Armin told me the most. Speak about what you want. Like, I'm going to give you some, what do you call it? Some advice, some guidance. But I'm not here to tell you how to run your show. So if we have to stop once in a while, explain it to everybody, we will stop once in a while and explain it to everybody. Yeah, a lot of people are sick of Abdul's. How many people, if I go back through the streams, how many streams am I going to find Abdul saying the same shit? The exact same message, like he's copy pasting it. Yeah, we don't allow PDF. PDF is not allowed. We're explicit allowed. You're not, you can't promote that. Did you see all bikers went to Dearborn, Michigan? What? No. I can look into that. Let me see. Holy shit. Every bike group needs to descend on Dearborn. Holy shit, look at this. Do you know my name? I can't play the music, but that is a lot of bikers. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so here's the thing. This isn't just Viker. That's a Venezuelan flag. This isn't just like biker gangs. This is just bikers. I assure you, there's probably some bikers, Nianos, like there's probably some biker jackets here. If I look at that, I don't, Indianos, I don't know if that's a biker jacket or a biker gang jacket because there's a difference. And in biker gang culture, you see there's more than one with the same jacket, and that usually means it's a gang. But you don't want to fuck with those people. Holy shit, look at this, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Oh, this is Brazil. Insanos. I don't know if they're all going to Michigan, if that's the ones going to Michigan, because I can't really confirm. But I may look more into this. Okay, okay. I can't play that kind of music. Let me see. I'm going to try to find recent. Bikers are traveling from every state headed to Dearborn, picking up more bikers, fixing Dearborn, Michigan. Biker rally. Bikers are in Dearborn. The bikers are here. Redneck Army Strong Dearborn. What the hell?
Christian protest, quote, "We will not surrender to Islam."
I can't play the music, but I can show it.
Let
me see.
Planned pro-Christian protest, quote, "We will not surrender to Islam."
I think this is older. Well, it could be this. I'm trying to find something more recent. Let me see if I can find it over here. Where this one will restart because we can restart this topic later. But I find this kind of interesting because this is like pushing back, and I like actual pushing back. I hate it when we just talk about doing something, doing something, but we do fucking nothing. Bikers go to Dearborn. Let me see what I got recent. This seems to be very recently, 3 days ago. This is kind of a long video. I'm looking for something short. This is just. This looks kind of wild, but I can't tell by this the date. Yeah, I can't tell from this. Let me go a little bit farther back. Crusaders arrived most in the race by American bikers to take over Dearborn 11 hours ago. Taloran sounds familiar. I've heard Taloran before, haven't I? Yeah, I think it is all today. I think that was today. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard a lot about this elsewhere, but I know that this Talorang is like, okay, he's going over different people's shit. Like this is the other guy we were watching. But I want to hear what Talorang has to say because as far as I know, like I think I've heard him before and he's pretty good. I don't remember where I saw him. Like I don't know where I know this man from, but I have seen him before. So we're gonna hear to him a little bit. Oh, we know. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So is that where I saw him before? Wait a minute. Are you telling me he's been here before? Liberty Politics? Because I know I've seen him before. Love Tao. Okay, you like Tao? Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not subscribed. I will subscribe. My bad. Okay, okay. There's a lot of love for Tao here. We're gonna listen to him.
Either. I do think as a Jew is Cuban Jew, probably South Florida guy. Like, listen, I know these Israeli biker guys. They don't fuck around either.
Yeah.
I do think as a Jew, framing it as a crusade is a bit much. I'm not gonna lie to you, considering
Hey, irony is cool too.
the Crusades were also against us. But I get the general rhetoric. I just wish some Jews could fix up the vocabulary that we use to not, isolate every single Muslim on planet Earth, because it really isn't every single Muslim, and a big part of this is Islamism.
Look, what you do is you take the Crusader cross and you put like a Crusader fucking Star of David, right? And then yeah, we're just owning up to it. We're just like not owning up to it, but like we're taking it in. We're like owning it. We're like, no, it's like we're gonna be the Jewish Crusader. What the fuck? This is what's up. We're joining the crusade now. The crusade will not be against us. We will be the crusade against the invaders, right? We're joining the Christians. We're going to be hand in hand. The past is the past. From now into the future, we will stand together. Like things change. Things change. You could join the Crusades.
It's an interpretation of Islam. But generally, I understand the sentiment of what he's talking about. There is an invasion happening in the States right now, whether you like it or not. It's the same thing that happened in Europe. It's happening in America. And something needs to be done. The Muslim mayor of Dearborn just called upon Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel to charge me with hate crimes. This is against Jake Lang.
A fine line between free speech and then inciting riots and things of that nature. But unfortunately, more times than not, hate speech is also a protected form of free speech. I would take that question and actually channel it towards our Attorney General to see what she may do with her hate crimes unit, to see if there's anything that can be.
Look, I knew him. Okay, you guys got to remember, you knew him before anybody in the chat told me I knew him. You guys knew I knew him. Like usually I put the shit in the description, but like I'm gonna put it in the chat so that you guys can sub to him. This is like his particular video about this. I'm gonna put it in the chat, right? So you guys, if you're on my channel, right, and like you're one of my, there's a lot of my viewers that don't watch me live. A lot of my viewers, if I look at the views on my channel, most of my views, and they stay throughout the whole show, are after the show is live. They watch me during the day. I don't know why. I appreciate them. I love them. People of the future, love you guys. But if you guys in the future also look at the live chat replay, you're going to be able to pick up that link, because I do appreciate Talorang. And I have seen him before. I remember liking him, and I think he's a good guy. But we are confirming, like if he says it, like I'm inclined to believe it's absolutely true that he's getting good sources on this, because it's good stuff.
The agitators and provocateurs that come to Dearborn time and time again. And I can tell you this won't be the last time for Mr. Lang. He is set to come before court later this a fine line.
So yeah, Jake Lang says, I was literally stoned by Muslims for preaching the name of Jesus in Dearborn last week. They want to charge me with hate crimes. It is, listen.
Hate crime for preaching in the name of Jesus. Okay.
Listen, Jake Lang is an agitator. Yeah, he goes around agitating, but it is.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the guy that went all alone to a Muslim protest with a... Okay. That is agitating. That is bait. He was baiting hard. He was super bait. He was a baiting this baiter out there. Like he was baiting. But like, you got to understand, when you're baiting that hard in a crowd that big, you're basically putting your life on the line. Like, Nick Shirley has security and he keeps an eye out and he has people like near and far so he knows if the crowd is like gaining. Like, yeah, this guy is not that. This guy was fucking. Oh, okay. I think, yeah, he is a high turbine is saying when it comes to baiting, he is a master baiter. Yes. He basically, fucking just glazed them. I mean, they were very angry. They were so angry that they went after him. They like the police had to physically escort him out. Yeah, they took some stones. They tried stoning him. Like, but that's very old school, but that's very illegal. Never do that. It was rough.
Right. It is his right to agitate. That's his right.
Yeah, like freedom of speech in the commons. So here's like the law. People think they got freedom of speech like at Taco Bell. You don't have freedom of speech at Taco Bell. You don't have freedom of speech at Pizza Hut. You don't have freedom of speech at Walmart or Walgreens or any wall if it's private wall. I don't know if there's more walls. There used to be a Kmart, but that was decades ago. The point being, if you're in someone's house, if you're on someone's channel, if you're like, if you're fucking on private property, you don't have the right to free speech, right? Like, and another thing is, if you're going to organize a protest, you need a permit, right? But here's the thing. If you are alone, you do have more rights than you if you're with a group. It sounds funny, but here's the thing. If he was out there counter protesting, he's not going to get a license because the state is going to say, hey, you guys are going to agitate these guys. And for the safety of the community, I think we either have to give you a counter protest permit far away because you're going to cause our police trouble because they're going to have to be managing both of you, especially agitated, which is a lot harder than letting these people do their little march by themselves. You do your march for Muhammad and the other people do their march for Jesus. And that way us as police, we don't have to manage an agitated crowd. If we have to to gather a crowd, you have a right to do it, but you have to like this permit stuff. You have to do the permit stuff. Yeah, this is the essence. Okay. Free speech means cops can't arrest or fine you at Taco Bell, but Taco Bell can tell you to leave and you get trespassed if you refuse. Yes, we watch this a lot. There's a genre. There's a genre of TV called cop slop. It's a new genre, not new, but new-ish, that started since police cams became mandatory. And it's one of the things that destroyed BLM. Nothing destroyed BLM like showing how, number one, a lot of these cops are black. And number two, these people are coming at a cop full speed with a knife, pulling out a gun, trying to hit the cop with a car. People try to play it off in the ICE protest, but they don't try to play it off when it's just a regular police intervention and the guy tries to run you over with a car. There's no protest there because they know that's deadly force. You can't use deadly force against the cop. You're going to get shot. Yeah, okay, so permits for protest may be horseshit, but it also I think it's like within like you can't organize a gang fight and think, well, because we have free speech, I can organize a gang fight between two gangs so they could just fucking go at each other. Like, I think there is a little bit of leeway, but it is also a bit of horseshit. Like, okay, let me put it to you this way. I can see it both ways. I'm a minarchist. I like a little government. I don't like too much government. I don't like no government. And I don't like all government. All government, I see this as the extremes. The libertarians want zero government. The government is always bad. Government can't do anything wrong. So fuck the borders. Fuck having a military. We'll figure it out. That's childish. And the communist says, mommy, daddy government is going to take care of everything. I don't have to own anything. I don't have to do anything. They'll tell me what to do. That's also childish. I find them to be two sides of the same coin. I think they're both extremist and they're both childish. Like, there is a certain thing to be had. If I know I'm going to have 1,000 angry Muslims over here having a little march and it's their right, I don't want to put right in front of them 1,000 Christians, because I know, there's going to be an incident and I'm not going to be able to parse who initiated aggression when it's a fucking brawl. Like, I also have to take like public safety into account. You know what I'm trying to I'm trying to show a little nuance here. I hope you guys understand. But I do understand that over a permit system can be abused. So here's where I would lay down the difference. If a district always gives the permit to the leftist and never gives the permit to the right wing, then the permit system is shite. You understand what I mean? Do you guys get it? I hope I'm making a point. Like, there is also something to be said about equal enforcement. Because if you both can have your protests, but just have them at different days or don't have them in front of each other, and we're doing some kind of coordination just because we want to keep you Christians safe and we want to keep the Muslims out of your face, or we want to keep them safe too, that's fine. Right? But you can't also have a government that says, okay, the people voted like through democratic process. We voted that, we're going to have a big crowd. We want a permit system. We don't want the opposing forces too close together because they start rioting and they come after my stores. And I pay big taxes to have my business here. And if there's a riot, those people are going to come into my store and they're going to break shit. And I don't want them all riled up. Right? If one group does damage to my store, it's easier to get everyone in that group than it is if it's two groups fighting, and God knows what agitated them, exactly who agitated exactly who, when it turned into whatever it is. It's also like if the people democratically chose, hey, we don't want that shit here, right? Like, there may be I'm gonna give you an example. I know of districts that consider it, you can't have any graffiti. That's not art. But I know of places where you can't have unlicensed graffiti, but you can have a graffiti artist paint a mural as long as it's commissioned. You see the difference there? So you're going through an elected process, and there can be a city council that says that's not the kind of art that we want to consider art in our town. And you can have a different city council that says that's really cool. We want to represent the city and our basketball team with that kind of art, and we're going to commission it. We just don't want it unlicensed on the walls. And because those people that live there, the taxpayers there elected that, well, you know what? It's up to them. Anyway, I think I'm overstating it. I think we're kind of like, getting a little bit maybe too much into the weeds of how you should manage permits in a small town, but that's kind of what I was getting at.
Especially given the context that he is a white American Christian and the people who he is preaching to are Muslims from a different land, all right, from the Middle East, or a recent one generation. There has to be something said about, okay,
they will fucking kill him. That's the problem. Like, they haven't been around enough to control themselves in front of free speech. That's the problem.
Hey, democracy, equality, all that, but you should be able to have a right to be a white Christian preaching whatever you need to preach. You need to have that right to preach what you need to preach. You can't go around slapping people and throwing rocks at people and killing people, kicking them out of a town.
This is what I mean. He's going into it, but I saw the video. Like, they were like literally throwing rocks at him. Bikers are fed up, and that can be scary. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, I don't want to fuck with bikers. I mean, I like bikes. Personally, I'm more, I like old school Hardys. Like, some of the new ones ain't so bad. And as far as like street bikes, I kind of like the Yamahas, like a Yamaha 600, Yamaha, yeah, something like that. I would be partial to. I don't want like them too big. Like there's something in Puerto Rico that they call the Cadillac of motorcycles, and that's the Hayabusa. They say that's the Cadillac, and everybody used to like love Hayabusa. They put like they'd stretch it out. Like everybody loved Hayabusas around here. But like I do like an OG Harley. I used to watch Orange County Choppers. Like I saw all that fucking drama, and yeah, I respect it. I don't want to fuck with bikers though. Here's the thing though, as far as I know, especially in the last couple of decades, I think, like I'm talking about a few decades, 30, 40 years, bikers, they do get into like fights among themselves. They may be some, there may be some gun running, some drug running, all that. But when it comes to them gathering, and to business places, they usually don't fuck with that business place. They just buy stuff. Yeah, just like, round for me and my buddies, they pay for everything. You're probably gonna make a lot of money. And if you treat them right, nobody's gonna fuck with your business. Especially when they do this place where they all converge in one place, like a festival, you're gonna make a lot of money. Just treat them right and nobody's gonna fuck with you. I'd like to see the bikers because I've been waiting all day and over a week for this rally to see how it goes down. Oh, you know what? Okay, if you can and you have like some account where you like to publish things, if you get a chance to like take some videos and stuff, that'd be real cool. We'd probably be sharing that. Okay, okay. Oh, so you got some Harley riders in the family. Oh shit. Yeah, man. But I think they're more comfortable than the street bikes. Like a long trip on a street bike is rough, right? It's very rough. I served in the military. I was a grease monkey in the military. I lived many years, like basically half of my life or more. Well, half now because I'm getting old and I kind of retired over here. But my upbringing was in the States in Florida. Like I'm half Puerto Rican monkey, half Florida man, like a hybrid human monkey thing. So I was a Florida man. I might be like Florida men chimp out too. It's not just my Puerto Rican side. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But yeah, I served. I used to fix the turrets on tanks, and it was I got to meet a lot of the white people, and the white people were nice to me. I liked them, like working with them. Also, as a kid growing up with them, it was cool. Like they were like we were cool. Like this racism against white people is new stuff. We used to get along fine. It wasn't a big deal. Like I was never treated, you know, I never felt that racism in Florida. I was a turret monkey. Okay, we got some correct language here. Yes, I was a turret monkey. I was a turret monkey. Yeah, you shouldn't. Okay, you can't. You shouldn't do drugs while you're on a motorcycle. That's very dangerous. It's very very dangerous. Don't do that. But I don't. I don't ride a lot. Right. I would like a 600, but I think I'm a little too old for that. You guys got to remember, I'm a very old man. Like I sound young, but I'm very old. Very very old. It's also like, if I have like a get off my lawn, grumpy old man aura to me sometimes, it's because that's literally what I am. So that plays into it. That's like literally what I am.
When they're white, because they're saying something that you don't like, that's not your right as an American. It's not your right. And whether he agitates you or not, violence shouldn't be the first option. Issa Shashin is Dearborn's first Muslim police chief. Let's take a look.
Coordinating with our state and federal partners. I'm Chief Issa Shaheen, and we're aware that individuals and groups from outside our community may come to the Dearborn City Council meeting on Tuesday, August 18th. We've been monitoring the situation closely and coordinating with our state and federal partners. We have a plan in place, and you'll see an enhanced presence of police officers. But here's my direct ask of our residents. Please stay home. These groups that are coming here are coming for one reason, and that's to provoke a reaction and generate attention. If nobody shows up to react, they have nothing. The most powerful thing that this community can do.
Okay, so with a statement like this, I gotta, like, this is my take. If it was a white guy saying it, if it was a Puerto Rican saying it, if it was a Mexican saying it, but he's also a police chief, would I view this differently? Right now, I can't see anything that I disagree with. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's be real honest about the answer and picture that this was, basically John Smith saying it.
Tuesday, August 18th. We've been monitoring the situation closely and coordinating with our state and federal partners. We have a plan in place, and you'll see an enhanced presence of police officers. But here's my direct ask of our residents. Please stay home. These groups that are coming here are coming for one reason, and that's to provoke a reaction and generate attention. If nobody shows up to react, they have nothing. This guy's a Muslim. The most powerful thing that this community can do is refuse to give them an audience. If you have business before council, you're welcome, and you'll be safe. We'll make sure of it. But if you're thinking about coming down just to confront these people, don't. That's exactly what they want, and it puts you at risk. Let our officers do their job. Don't let a handful of hateful outsiders define who we are.
Okay, so there's where he went off the rails. Because he defined them all as hateful outsiders, and there may be people that are just coming in because they don't feel represented. There may be like legitimate protests. You can't label them all as hateful outsiders. Up until that point, I was fine with it. You guys see what I mean? Like if he was a white guy or a white woman with blue hair, a white police officer woman with blue hair, and she said the same thing, these hateful outsiders, you'd be pissed too, right? Because it's about, labeling it as hateful and not labeling it as a counter protest or a protest. Like, don't try to counter protest. Don't try to agitate people at a protest. Like, you can say the whole same thing, and these people are coming to protest. Don't agitate protesters, because you may be inciting, you may be giving the example that they want to show of you, right? Like, I gotta say, okay, imagine that it was a bunch of Muslims protesting, right? And you were telling Christians, hey, remember that they're trying to get you in a fight and then take pictures, right? So don't fall for that shit. You know what I'm talking about? So, like, I got to see both sides of it, but he's using the word hateful. So that already makes a judgment call on it. That's where I'm out. And if it was a white, blue-haired, Karen police officer, I would be just as out as if it is a Muslim, anti-Christian, pro-Islam police officer. I'm still out. That's where he lost me, because the rest of it, what he said was, logical.
Dearborn is stronger than this. Thank you.
But you know what? I agree with him at a certain perspective. If your community is really all about peace and love, if somebody's coming to agitate you, right? Somebody's coming to preach a different doctrine, or even if they disagree with you and they're coming to preach hate, let's see you guys not get violent. Let's see it happen for once. Let's see you guys not attack them, not try to shut down their speech. Let's see it for once and for all. Let's see it how it is. I'll see you guys in the
Okay, so that's Taloran. I'm glad to see him again. I'm happy that I recognized him because he is a good guy. And okay, you guys are getting a look at what I like to watch. I like reaction videos. Okay, I like reaction slop. You got me. I like some of the reaction slop. I'm a big fan of Mr. Elboyd. I'm a big fan of Nicky Lou, the British Dad. I love reactions. You got me. You fucking got me. I'm a huge fan. Okay, let's go back to this. We went a little bit into this before, but I want to get into it again because we were discussing that a lot of times these people like to play it like we don't know what Israel is doing and Israel doesn't know what we're doing. But since we count on each other's intel, like Israel uses a lot of our satellite images, right? A lot imagery. They use a lot of our you know far away assets as backup. Like that makes a difference.
President Trump issuing a new warning to Oman, threatening to bomb the U.S. ally if it gets in the way.
Bomb, 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 Oman. Bomb, 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 Oman. Bomb, 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 Oman. Bomb, bomb, bomb. That's a that's a 50s song I'm making up.
Of efforts to reach a deal with Iran and reopen.
Okay, I'll check that person out. Let me see. I'm gonna take a screenshot, Turbine, and check that person out because I do love reactions. So I might just do that.
In the Strait of Hormuz because they've been working, dealing with each other, and cut us out.
Meanwhile,
So this tip right here, only this tip is Oman, or is Oman like this tip and other stuff?
new strikes in Syria overnight have the region on edge.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst joins us live from Tel Aviv with the new details. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Reports indicate Israel launched strikes against a Syrian airbase overnight, prompting U.S. Ambassador Tom Barrack to release a statement saying we are deeply concerned. He went on to say an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability. Now, I spoke with a senior Israeli official about these reports, and they responded saying highly sensitive intelligence was shared with the United States.
That's the point I want to make because they're not going to do these strikes unless they coordinate. So there's no way that Israel struck Syria without the U.S. knowing. What does this mean? We are okay with it.
It's advanced at the most senior levels of the various agencies and bodies. This official went on to say al-Shara understands that he cannot.
Okay, we have Michael Feldman is saying attacking Oman is a bitch move. IRGC is the enemy. What if Oman is betraying us and aiding the IRGC? What if they're giving the IRGC money? What if they're the traitors and they're helping the enemy? You got to take that into account because we're not going to say that for nothing.
Not operate like the previous Syrian regime, which maintained proxy forces. It's possible he didn't understand what was going on or didn't know. They could not provide any additional details due to the classified nature of this intelligence.
I mean, Oman is a Muslim country. You just can't trust it. Homie, I don't trust Canada. I don't trust the UK. I don't trust France. I don't trust Spain. Like, it's not like I understand what you're saying, but you can't just trust these countries, especially the higher ups, because like maybe the people in Oman fucking hate Iran for what they're doing them, right? But maybe the upper echelon is thinking about let's work out a toll system. Let's both make this money. I'll charge them on the way in. You charge them on the way out. This sounds like a good deal. I'm into it. You understand what I'm saying? Like if Oman is aiding Iran because the destabilization might lead to Oman getting a cut about that toll money, then you got to bomb Iran because it's trying to do the same thing IRGC is doing, create instability so that they can enact a toll system.
But this comes as we are tracking the latest developments between Iran and the United States. The memorandum of understanding expiring yesterday with no diplomatic solution on the horizon. Early this morning, another vessel was struck in the Strait of Hormuz by an unknown projectile. While Iran and Oman do continue talks about the strait, the U.S. naval blockade remains in place. And President Trump has warned Oman against getting in the way as he pursues a better deal.
They want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
The Iranians have also released new statements about the conflict, with the country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, saying,
Okay, this is a shift. Like this is like a 180. Oman is a city in the middle of sand dune. I've been there, could take it in 72 hours. Hey, you know what? We got to do it, right? We do it and we free the people there of having to, you know, having to deal with Iran and the leadership in Iran, the IRGC, and the leadership having to deal with the IRGC and the Omani leaders trying to enact instability so they can have a toll system. Because I'm gonna be real. If you've been raised your whole life there and you don't know the difference, maybe you've been kind of indoctrinated, whatever. I don't fucking hate you, right? Like some of these people, they don't even care about America. They're just trying to live their fucking life. If that's you, I don't care. But if the leadership is doing bad stuff, you got to take care of them. You got to do it.
In part, patience, solidarity, and hope are the keys to Iran's resilience in the face of ever-increasing external pressures and threats. We're also tracking the latest developments here in Israel after a high-level meeting between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Jared Kushner. Kushner indicated to Fox News that very good conversations are taking place about other countries joining the Abraham Accords.
The issue of Gaza and the Palestinian people has been directly tied to the Abraham Accords and your efforts to get more countries to sign on to this agreement. Do you believe the agreement will be expanded under the Trump administration?
We have a lot of very good active conversations going with countries, some obvious, some not obvious. And I think once we get this Gaza situation moving forward,
I think the Saudis are the obvious one.
De-escalate the tensions here. We have to get through the Israeli elections, which, as you know, Israeli politics are complicated, and then Israeli politics in an election are even more complicated. And so hopefully when we get after the Israeli election, there'll be some opportunities for expansion. But President Trump's been very, very focused on this. He's had great conversations with many countries, and it's the right thing to do. And what's interesting too about the Abraham Accords is that it kind of took a different approach to the region, and
it kind of like left Gaza out of it. I think that's why people don't like the Abraham Accords.
Everyone always said you can't have normalization until the Palestinian issue.
Bye. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. I'm sorry I had to lay down the rules again earlier. You got to do it once in a while so people understand. Like there's basic rules. If you break the basic rules, you're gone.
Issue is resolved. But what we showed actually through the first branch of the Abraham Accords is that the Emiratis were actually the biggest donors to Gaza, and they've done a ton to help the Palestinian people. And it's only by having relations with Israel that they're able to help the Palestinians hopefully achieve a better outcome for themselves.
Kushner also indicated progress in the Gaza ceasefire, saying that Hamas could start to lay down their weapons in as little as 30 days. Guys?
So Trey, when you see what's happening with Iran right now, do you get the sense that Iran is even interested in doing a deal right now? Because according to the Wall Street Journal, they've accelerated their new missile production, their drone production. They've asked the Houthis, and they've gotten involved in the Red Sea. It seems like this is the Iran script.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Michael, but that's the thing. We don't want to take over. We just want them to like not be assholes. Like, hey, don't be assholes. Don't put a toll in. There's never been a toll here. You're not going to control whoever comes in and out, paying you a tax because what? What did you do? Are you cleaning up the area? Are you feeding the fish? What the fuck are you doing that we got to pay you now? That's the problem with Oman and Iran wanting a toll. Because I fucking guarantee you that the IRGC aren't going to be in there checking for the wildlife, the sea life. They're not going to check that the ecosystem is balanced. They're not going to go after cleaning up oil spills. If anything, they're going to cause oil spills. So we can't have them be the guarantors of safety in the strait if all they're doing is antagonizing and causing lack of safety in the straits. And they can't say that they're protecting the people there if the things that you're doing are extremely dangerous to desalination, to the environment, and to trade, basically. So we can't have Oman and IRGC control that because you don't deserve it. It's open water. Like imagine someone puts a toll booth in your driveway, right? Or puts a toll booth in the middle of the road that you paid with your tax dollars. Right, it's like you paid for these taxes, but this stranger puts a toll in, and the government isn't even like sanctioning. No, they just decided that let me put a toll here, or I'll start shooting every car that goes by. Can you do that? Can you put a toll in front of the bridge and put snipers on two mountains near the bridge and say, "Hey, you got to pay the toll, and if you don't let me put a toll here, I'm gonna have my sniper shoot at every truck that drives by with some supplies." Can't fucking do that. You didn't build the road, you didn't put down the asphalt, you're not doing any of the upkeep, but now you want to get paid for what? Because if we don't pay you, you're going to shoot us? That's a mafia tactic. That's extortion. That's a
In that script, peace talks don't exist.
Yeah, it's a great question. And Jared Kushner told Fox News yesterday, at this point, the Iranians are not making a deal. But he said deals are difficult and that the president often wants what many would describe as an impossible deal, but it's still the deal he's going to pursue. And so U.S.
Okay, so you didn't do anything bad. Like you just had some different opinions. Like I don't want to spook my audience to think they can't disagree. But you're speaking intelligently with a purpose. You're not like purposely trying to antagonize me and shit. I can tell. But you're just having a conversation with a different point of view, and that's absolutely fine. Because one of the things it does, it can lead to this conversation. We're having a respectful difference of opinions. Oh, I see it this way. We could do this. We could do that. And I'm gonna tell you, well, you know what? I understand that we could do that, but here's why you don't want to do that. Because it's costly. You don't want to like stay in Oman for what? Then you become the target because you're sitting there. What we want to do is not have them, do their thing. But I don't want anybody to be afraid to talk to me. Just don't be antagonistic and disrespectful. I have basically the same rules that Asmongold has. If you ever watch his chat when he comes back, he's like, we can have disagreements, but if you're just going to be antagonistic and an asshole, I'm not having. But you're not like that, so that doesn't even apply to you.
Negotiators, including Jared Kushner, remain optimistic about the possibility of future conversations with the Iranians. They indicated that talks are still taking place indirectly behind the scenes. And remember what we reported yesterday, President Trump confirming to Fox News.
Okay, this is just funny. After Ms. Trump is going to tell them, give up, or we're going to make you a state. You get to be Puerto Rico. You know what? They might do that to Cuba. That'd be funny. You're going to be Puerto Rico too. We have Puerto Rico 1 and Puerto Rican 2, also known as Cuba. Very similar flags, but, not the same, so we could tell them apart.
Direct channels between
Puerto Ricans talk a little faster. That's also a way to tell.
Between officials in Washington and IRGC officials in Tehran.
Trey, thank you so much.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox.
You know what? You'd be surprised because a lot of the gear that the CCP used in Iran, in Syria, what was the other place? Oh my God. Malaysia, Africa, Venezuela, Syria. There was a whole bunch of places. Like, I think I got it in school. Let me see if I can find it. Because I had something I posted. Let me see where it is. Oh, I'm hearing myself double. Let's see here, Liberty Politics, affiliates, profile. Just post. Oh, I like this one. This is just a picture that I really like. Like a lot of people respond to my tone. Oh, you're being mean. Criticize his tone of the writing without addressing the substance of the argument. Ad hominem, they like to call me, oh, you're just a monkey, you're just a Puerto Rican. Name calling, they call me an idiot, an asshat, an asshole. The counter argument contradiction, states the opposing case with little or no supporting evidence. Like if you're just saying the contrary, okay, based on what? Counter argument contradicts and then backs it up with reasoning and or supporting evidence and or. Refutation finds the mistake and explains why it's mistaken using quotes. Refutation to the central point explicitly refutes the central point. Like just logically, the central point is wrong. Like that's one of the things that I like to do when we're talking about debates and stuff. China's never seven nation failure. Here it is. I should make this into an article, but these are all the nations where China stuff failed. This is very interesting. I posted this on May the 2nd, a long time ago. This is all the places where China stuff failed. In Syria, these radars failed. Admission of guilt. The Research Institute marketed at the expo that they were the ones making these systems and giving to them. In Iran, all of these systems failed. You see this? This is all the Chinese shit that failed. And this is where they admit, like, admissions of guilt, where they were like, they sell this stuff and they have to promote it. Exports promoted publicly. Venezuela, this was supposed to be the latest tech. All these systems failed. Anti-stealth system, the admission of guilt. This is a stealth killer's expose. They did a lot of, lots of admissions of guilt. In Ukraine, they didn't have any tanks or armor. I think this one it's supposed to have a space here. Supplied components. To this, they supplied components to the Russian drone use. They had reliability issues, countermeasures, Ukraine operation, Russian Chinese sourced electronics to some. So their electronics is what was there, and they did have admissions of guilt. This is supposed to be spaced out. I want to check this again. I might turn this into an article and add like the latest on this. But like, there's a lot of failure in the CSCP. Okay, so that was in Pakistan. All of these systems failed. And this is where they admit it. You see all this? This is them admitting, like when they sold all this shit, China sourced their success rate. But that's in their internal testing. When they took it out to the field, it was all bullshit. In Myanmar, all these systems failed, and this is where they admitted their guilt. In Thailand, they sold these systems. This is their admission of guilt. Like they fucking sold it. Like all of these places. Okay, let's go over them. Thailand, Myanmar, Pakistan, against Ukraine, Venezuela, Iran, and Syria. In all these places, the Chinese stuff failed. The Russian stuff failed too. But like, it was devastating. Like the China stuff just sucks. It just sucks. So I want to show you guys that so you can see it. We have another video coming up. This is more about elections. So here's what he is with James Carville. This guy is basically ultra Democrat. This is the guy that has been gotten more Democrats elected than anybody. Rusky drink of mine lied about what we did. He told me that it was Arab fucking up USSR tech. Well, okay, but this is like my thing that we're talking about is Chinese tech. So let's take it even worse, right? So instead of Arabs fucking up USSR tech, they're fucking up USSR tech that was badly copied by China and then sent to the Arabs. So it's like even worse than what he told you. And Russian tech is not the best. Like it doesn't compare to Timu. Oh yeah, Timu air defense. Like it doesn't compare to American defense. Russian is not that good. The Russian stuff is far better than the Chinese stuff. Because the Chinese stuff is like a bad copy of the Russian stuff, with a lot more corruption in the supply chain than China.
And here he is now, James Carville. You really
in the flesh. Nice to see you, Jesse.
Nice to see you too. We're glad you're not in a bed. We usually see you in a bed.
I know. Usually I've had a little surgery and I've been in a bed a lot lately.
Good. We're glad you're doing better. You look great.
Doing better.
We're glad you're doing. I wish I could say the same thing for the Democratic Party. Do you think that you guys should run AOC, another woman? You guys have not done well running women, James.
Well, first of all, I don't know why I feel bad about the Democratic Party. We're ahead 8 points in aggressive drag. Trump's at 32% in the polling. So I don't know about I'm worried about the Democrats right now.
All right.
You're not worried about the communists taking over the party?
No, they're a bunch of silly people. Those people you had on there, those DSA people, they're a pack of fools. No one pays attention.
A pack of fools.
To them.
Oh, he's not wrong.
They ain't gonna do anything. Now, if you ask me about AOC, I do think she's very talented. She's certainly to the left of me, but you know what she's doing? What I think good politicians do, she's growing into the job. She's not the same person she was when she was elected in 2018. And when people change a position from what I think is a more naive position to a more realistic position, I'm going to praise them. I'm a guy, I like converts in my.
Okay, so I can't fault any of what he's saying right now. I can't fault any of that. No, Armin. Oh, you must be from. Let me see. No, I'm not Armin. I'm the monkey. Like I have a separate show that I do, but we're going over some America stuff. We did talk about the Chinese weapons in Iran for a little bit, and a little bit about the Oman problem. Where we're about to bomb Oman if they were helping the IRGC to establish a toll. We did talk about that, but welcome to the show. If you want to like rewind to that part later, that's what we touched on when it comes to the strait.
Okay, I agree. No, I agree. People can grow up. I have certainly grown up. Jesse Waters, have matured over my career. But what she was saying that menstruating people, what you can't. I mean, that's like a core fund.
She was nuts.
Fundamental issue, a biological issue. Usually, like the next year when it's unpopular, she's like, "Oh, I don't believe that."
But look, there was a place where part of the
people are saying like you got to be careful with AOC. Yeah, I would be careful, but like being a pretty face is not gonna help you. Like just because she's cuter than Kamala, that's not like what is she on Ozempic? She's freezing her eggs. Like she's single. She's not gonna get married before the election. There's a lot of things that had to do with family and with just like women also don't trust women. Like women will believe all women together. Yeah, that's great in public, but in private, a lot of women don't trust women, especially with big decisions. They'll say, yeah. It's like these communist women, they all have a white straight man that they marry. Oh, I hate the white man, the patriarchy, white men are terrible. Yeah, but you married a man and you had kids. And you married a straight white man, so you don't really hate white people that much. They say like a revolutionary in the streets, colonized in the sheets. And I want you to notice something very particular, because I think it has to do with hormones. Did everyone notice that as soon as AOC got off her birth control, she dumped her boyfriend? There are studies that show that women that get off birth control, one of the first things they do is get rid of their boyfriends and go after more manly boyfriends, because women on birth control tend to like soft soy beta males. And as soon as they get off it and they're all, all their female hormones are going and shit, they want like a man's man. Well, one of the first things she did she was going to freeze her eggs, she announced it. Then, she fucking got off the pill, fucking said, wait a minute, this guy sucks. And they fucking dumped him. I remember it's funny because Alex Stein found AOC at the Capitol and he was recording himself and he said, oh my God, you're my favorite big booty Latina. I love you. You're the best. And the husband was right there. Not the husband. The boyfriend was right there. And he didn't say shit. Granted, Alex Stein is pretty big. Like, you don't... Like, I don't think he's an MMA fighter, but you don't want to just start a fight with Alex Stein. That would probably not be great. Right? But it's also like you could just... Alex Stein is also not just going to fight you because you're like, hey, man, be more respectful. This is my girlfriend. I don't want you talking about her booty. I wouldn't talk about your woman's booty because it would be disrespectful. And, can you extend the same courtesy to me? Alex Stein would probably said, yeah, I get it. That's fine. I apologize. Or he might have not apologized. I don't know, because he likes to be a little out there, a little edgy. But I'm saying he didn't even do that. It was so funny.
The country went crazy in 2019, 20, 21, 22. I told them they were crazy. And to her credit, she doesn't
He told him they were crazy. That's probably true.
Talk like that anymore. Good, you've grown. We like that. You're moving in the right direction.
Okay,
And that's
well,
always a good thing.
Is the rest
Javid Shah. We have more of Iranian people coming in. Javid Shah. Payande Iran.
of your party moving in the right direction? We saw Gavin Newsom fly to Michigan to kiss this guy's ring, this guy Abdul, who calls you names, Carville. He hates you.
So what?
Haters gonna hate.
They don't like me. I don't dislike them. He's a guy. I was for Haley Stevens. But all the people that I see out there running Ossoff and Andy Bashir and Shapiro and Wes and everybody else, there's so much talent in this party. People are going to be blown away after we get past 26 and start running. Okay. And the people that we're talking about are not.
I want you to notice something. He said past 26. You know what that sounds like? Sounds like he doesn't have a high hopes for 26, right? Once we get past 26.
Could do anything.
Okay, Ossoff, Bashir, no one knows these guys. These guys are boring guys. That's the future. We're talking about right now, James. And right now, the mayor here in New York speaking Chinese. Do you speak Chinese?
I don't, but I wish I did. I would be a more educated person, and I'm not going to fault anybody for learning another language. Unfortunately, I barely speak Cajun French, but that's fine. It means he's an educated, smart guy. He speaks different languages.
Well, I don't think he speaks it.
By the way, the mayor of New York,
I think he mimicked
he can bring
it.
Chinese business in.
Okay.
I think he mimicked it too. I don't think he speaks it.
Fine. All right, so that's fine. He's speaking Mandarin here in New York City, and
I also don't have a problem with that, because if you're talking Mandarin, but you're saying communism sucks in Mandarin, I'm all for it. It's more about what you're saying. But I think what Waters is talking about is that Mandami memorized a little Chinese as pandering. And I wouldn't like it in Spanish. I wouldn't like it in Persian. I wouldn't like it in Urdu. I wouldn't like it in any language. I wouldn't like it in African. Like, if you're pandering, faking your, I don't like it.
A big wing of your party, James, they want to abolish the police, prisons, and the border. No one's standing up to these people. You tried. And nothing happened.
We're staring up like crazy right here where I'm sitting in New York.
Okay, so here's the thing. Guys. Someone comes in the chat. They're not disrespecting me. They're not talking about pedo stuff. They're not breaking any rules. You can just block the guy. Block the guy. Don't pay him no mind if he's bothering you. Now, if you want to argue with him, you can't argue with the guy. Right? Because I do allow some, a little bit of, rabble rousing. If they don't get too vulgar, if they don't get into that pedo stuff, and if they're not spamming, I'm not just gonna go, but I will allow some of them people to vent and get it out. If you feel like if he's bothering you and it's making you tense and it's making you angry, block him. If you're enjoying it and you're insulting him and you're talking about, you worship the fucking pagan cube of Hubal. Why are you Huba Allah? That's your Allah. Huba Allah. That's who your God is. You got a fucking pagan God. What did you convert? You convert for because you like them young? Is that why you converted? Because you're a little pervert? Oh my God. If you wanna go that way at him, you can. You can't. But if he's not promoting that stuff, he's not spamming. That's what he says. He says he's an Irish converting to a lot. You don't know if this is an atheist leftist in Washington State. You can't take any of the things. He says he's in Iran. I'm not from Iran. Okay, so he says he's Irish. You don't have to believe him. He says he converted. You don't have to believe him. You don't have to believe anything anyone in the chat says. You don't have to believe him. There is some basic things that I allow even in my chat. He's not insulting my chat. He's not insulting my mods. He's not insulting me. And he's not promoting illegal stuff. So as long as he's within those boundaries, I don't want to break my own rules. I do say if you want to argue with him, that's fine too. Yeah, okay, so you're saying well, Irish are drunk 99% of the time. What if he's not Irish, but he wants you to insult the Irish? And that's his trap. Maybe he hates the Irish. And that's why he says, I'm an Irish convert to Islam. Maybe some Irish person he hates or she hates, dumped her for a better looking woman. And she's an angry feminist that hates Irish people. So she is saying that she is an Irish man that converted to Islam. You understand where I'm going with this? Don't just believe what a troll says, because a troll's self-identification may be a trap to get you to attack something they hate. You get what I'm saying? I don't believe anyone. I don't believe humans, animals, or things, so I don't have to ask anyone. Like, well, I don't believe you, but I should believe these other people you're referencing? No, I don't believe anybody. You talk to somebody, and because you talk to somebody, that means that person has your birth certificate, saw you born, went to your address, and knows where you live. That doesn't mean anything. I talked to someone on a stream, so I should believe you. No. Your evidence is nothing. Ah, Turpin gets it. Turpin gets it. Let's go back to the stream.
New Orleans, our crime rate is down, 35%. New York is a low crime jurisdiction. We have all of these Democratic police mayors having these tremendous police chiefs around the country, but crime rate now is as low as it's been, I think since 1960.
You don't give the president any credit for that?
No, he just started going down in 2020.
Okay, and so it has nothing to do with deporting all of these criminal illegals?
Fine. What did he... all of this was put into place earlier in this decade. All of this is the fruition of technology coming together in law enforcement and better trained and more professional policing. We're starting to reap the dividends of this.
Okay. Well, I'm glad crime is at a 150-year low. That is definitely good news we could both be happy about.
I'll take it.
So these other guys, they want to take away my doctor. James, I love my doctor. I see my doctor all the time. I have a lot of issues, physical, emotional, mental, and they want Medicare for all. You know what that means. You know what that means, right?
I know exactly what it means. If I was starting the system over, honestly, I would start with Medicare for all.
You would.
But you're not starting over. So I think I think at the end of the day, when people think about it, it's not going to be a very good idea. But the idea that somebody thinks we should have some version of universal coverage in this country is in line with most advanced Western governments around the world.
I mean, people.
I don't.
Do you know why most advanced Western governments have Medicare for all? It's because we pay for their defense. If they had to pay for their defense, they couldn't afford Medicare for all. That's the thing. If they had to pay for their own defense and they didn't have U.S. paying for most of NATO, those countries you call advanced, who do not have progressive tax systems, they have very burdensome tax systems that tax all levels. Those countries couldn't have those systems. They have those systems because we pay for their defense.
It's not perfect, but to blow up the system and spend almost $4 trillion a year on it, I mean.
Okay, so this makes sense. Carville was married for a long time with a Republican woman. They finally got divorced in the past few years. Okay, so here's the thing. If you can't argue with your woman, you go argue against her points with someone else. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm not going to argue with her because then I got to live with her. And that would suck. So instead of arguing with her in my house, I'm going to argue against everything she says on TV. It's like a workaround. Yeah, I don't care about women having hijab freedom. I care about freedom to get rid of the IRGC if they don't want the IRGC. They don't have that freedom, so they don't like. People are talking about the freedom to hijab. Nobody gives a fuck about a hijab. I want the freedom to get rid of the IRGC, the freedom to change government, the freedom to not have religion rule you. That's freedom. Oh, I did see that. We have this comment, Monkey. Almost all them bikers can vote in Minnesota. Look at the James O'Keefe undercover video. Jake Lang, he like disguised himself as a Muslim lady, and they let him bring like 8 people to vote with no ID. Yes, I did know about that. I saw that. Medicare for all. I guess fool does not understand the consistent negative outcome of socialist policies. But what he's saying is that it doesn't work. Like maybe if we had designed it in a better way from the start, okay. But when you're overburdening Medicare for all with a whole bunch of new people, even at your best that you could like work your way to making some of this work, it's not going to work because you have too much of an influx of outsiders that aren't paying into the system. Oh, well, yeah. Okay, so here's a good point. Detroit got safer. Trump is full of shit. People moved out. I don't think Trump is full of shit. I think it did got safer. If there's no one there, it's safer. Like, you could be technically right. Everyone moved out. Okay, so I guess it is safer because there's no one there. Detroit is like a ghost town as far as I know, right? Isn't that a ghost town now? Basically ghost city? I think it's like a ghost city. Okay, what was her name? Mary Magdalene. Okay, I'll check her out. Advisor, political figure, Carville's wife. Okay, I'll check her out. I mean, technically, he's right. If everybody moves out, it's a little safe.
And it just seems like suicide. You know better than that. Let me ask you, besides Medicare for all, what are the new ideas that the Democrat Party is pushing now? New ideas.
Let me give you a couple.
Okay.
Raise taxes on incomes above $450,000 a year and take the money and put it into a first-time home buyer's mortgage relief fund. Let's start.
Okay, you're taking money from too low. You're taking money from way too low. At 450, you're probably running a small business. You're probably not running a big margin, and you probably got a few employees, but not a lot. And you're at that point, that even point when you're having so many employees that you're in a tax bracket where you have different taxes on payroll, but not enough employees to get big benefits out of that tax bracket. This is the thing that happens also when you increase the minimum wage. If I run a bakery and I got 10 employees and minimum wage goes up by $2 and I can't afford it, I got to fire 1 or 2, or I got to cut the shifts so I can't pay anybody overtime. I have to like find a way to make less people do more work and cut a shift. You know what I mean? I used to have 4 people on this shift. Now I got 3. Why? Because I can't afford it. Why? Because they raised the minimum wage and I literally don't have enough foot traffic so that I can afford that. Right? So that's kind of the problem. You can't pay anyone full time. Exactly. So what happens to the people? They all become part-time employee. It gets harder for them to pay the rent. So they go on rent assistance. And because they need rent assistance, they start voting for the left. So the left will give them more rent assistance. But that creates a bigger increase in minimum. But because I can't afford to pay more per hour and keep the same amount of employees, I got to cut their hours again because I just don't make the margin for that. This is a misunderstanding of how business works. Oh, you just tax you just tax people and magically they're gonna have this the bills are gonna be less. Just because you took more doesn't mean the bills are less. Doesn't mean and they'll do that and they'll raise the property tax.
About that. The minimum wage hadn't been raised since 2009. Let's raise
the minimum wage. I just told you about this.
Thing to 50.
I did not pre-watch. I did not know he was going to see that.
$15 now pronto. Let's give companies tax breaks that pay to employees above and beyond what you would expect them to pay. Let's encourage higher wages around the country. Let's be very aggressive in promoting American products and American trade where we can build more wealth in the country.
Look at this. Look at this. AOC visited the old bar she worked at on film, expressed bewilderment, it shut down, and all her co-workers gone. No understanding of economics 101. Yeah, you're just annoying me because you're not on topic. You're spamming another topic. You're trying to derail my chat. So I'm not having you anymore.
Kinds of things that we can.
It's one thing if he would have moved on to another topic, but if you're gonna endlessly talk about another topic, you're out. And I understand that some people like agitation in the chat. Like Armin really likes agitation in the chat. Armin really likes arguments in the chat. I don't like that shit. I'm gonna put him on timeout because he hasn't broken the rules. But I'm not in the mood for him derailing the chat and spamming other topics.
And good ideas.
I think those are some good ideas. Some of them you guys had a shot at last time, didn't really try them, but that's fine. James, I am just happy to see you out of bed, smiling and back to your old self. All these people that give you a bad attitude, just don't ignore it. All right, ignore it.
There you go. You gotta let it go. You know this, Jesse.
Let it go. I let it go.
If you let that stuff stick to you, you'll be dead, man. You just
That's right. That's
you
right.
Say what you believe and roll with the punches. And thank you for giving me a chance to say what I believe.
Of course. And good to have you on, James. Good to see you.
I like better this kind of interaction, even though I don't trust James Carville or his policies and don't agree with them. I do like this kind of interaction better. We're going a little bit over time, but I want to get into the main topic that was the problem with South Korea, and we want to talk about the problems with their election, because a lot of the problems that we're having with South Korea was that they didn't want to pay what they said that they would pay under the Trump administration. When Biden came along, they stopped paying, and they got to pay what they owe, and want to pay what they owe. They're not getting no protection because we're not going to bomb them if they don't pay. We're not the mafia, but we're not going to give you a service if you don't pay for your service, right? It's not a mafia tactic for your security guard to say, "Hey, if you don't pay me, I'm leaving." That's not a mafia tactic. I got to pay for protection. Yeah, you got to pay for protection. Of course. If your protection says they're going to hurt you if you don't pay, okay. That's illegal. That's mafia tactic. But if your security guard says, "I'm not going to work for free," he's not being a mafia. He's not being a mobster. He's being a normal employee. So South Korea don't want to pay what they owe, and they want defense, right? So here's the thing. Turnout data manipulation 2026, a joint investigation examining the NEC personnel over manipulation of turnout statistic during the June 3rd, 2026 local election. Investigator found cases in which erroneous voter numbers were not simply corrected. Officials allege altered figures elsewhere to make totals reconcile. Investigation expanded beyond the original location. Status active to criminal investigation. Source chosen. There's the source. Turnout numbers entered before the reported time. So how could you have that's a problem, like a predetermined, when you have the turnout numbers entered early, that means you either close the poll early, which you're not supposed to do, and you can't just close the poll when you like the number, or you had a pre-described, you pre-programmed it and you're just turning it in early because you don't care what people vote. You already have it programmed in. The People Power Party lawmaker Ju Jin-ju disclosed NEC records showing that the turnout figures apparently entered into the system before the times they were supposed be represented. He alleged 117 instances across 3 elections. 47 in 2026, 26 in 2025, 44 in 2024. So they're constantly doing this. One reported example being 1 p.m. turnout being entered at 11:28. So like you cut the ballot at the time that you like. So the other people don't, can't vote or their votes don't count. The anomalous timestamps are bias of an allegation of improper pre-entry of the results. They do not themselves establish a final vote totals will change, like pre-entry. Okay. Major ballot shortage during the polling stations with 3,856 registered voters were supplied around half the necessary ballots, enough for 49, like half the voters, basically 49.3. The incident became serious enough that the next chairman resigned and political leaders demanded an investigation. Next own truth finding process subsequently reported 140 of 4,000. That's still a good number, because like if you can flip, that's a polling station, but that doesn't mean one polling station equals one district. Like one district could have like 100 polling stations or 50 or whatever it is. Nationwide required additional ballots, recommended investigation involving 12 officials. Because you only need to do cheating in the places where you need cheating. The places you already got. But if you could flip a couple of places that are on the fence, bam, you win. Investigation into whether ballot printing rules were improperly changed. Joint investigation and examine whether personnel intentionally changed, lower the threshold number of ballots initially printed. Okay, so there's the problem with the printed. Investigator were examining whether there was intent to influence the election. Investigation not completed, not a completed finding of rigging, but like suspicion, like it did happen, but we can't really call it rigging. It's just like evidence, but not proof. Doing penetration testing, investigators demonstrated that election infrastructure could be compromised, including systems associated with voter registration and election data. So they could register more people than they were supposed to, or do manipulate registration. Vulnerabilities became central to later arguments with South Korea's election infrastructure lacked adequate security. Like, this is why he doesn't like them, because he thinks they fucking cheated and there's a fucking cheater on the throne. And I don't fucking like that, because they fucking cheated me too. This is my guy. Because he directly has problem with China interfering, and I guarantee you China would interfere here. Conservative analysts subsequently argued that the vulnerabilities created opportunities for manipulation that the NEC had failed to eliminate adequately. Massive cyber attack pressure against NEC. By half of 2026, the NEC had recorded more than 100,000 cyber attack attempts. Brother. What the fuck? Okay, so what's your basis on them having 2 left-wing senators? Like, Republicans won here. Why would it's like you're saying, Florida is completely Republican. Therefore, from this completely Republican place where Republicans won overwhelmingly, 2 Democrats are going to become senators from Florida. Like, how do you arrive at that logic? I don't understand that. Maybe you have an assumption that because they're Latinos, they're Democrats. That would be an incorrect assumption. The left in Puerto Rico is split. There's the socialist and the DNC, the Democrats, and the Democrats lost. Would vote. We do vote. I've been a registered Republican in Puerto Rico for decades and decades and decades. The number 1 Puerto Rico is Republicans. Democrats in Puerto Rico are the 3rd place, not even the 2nd. What? These are facts. You're saying no, but you're not backing it up with data. Like you're going off your gut, you're going off something you heard from some commentator. Don't look at leftist polling, right-wing polling from America. Look at who won in Puerto Rico. We got like 54%. And the other people were split like 30 and 20. So around there. The left is totally, like if you have, let me explain it to you this way, just so you understand. In Puerto Rico, there is the, we want to be a state party, and we don't want to be a state, but we want to be Americans. Those are the main two parties. The Democrat position is we don't want to be a state, but we still want to be Americans. That's the Democrat position in Puerto Rico. The Republican position in Puerto Rico, the conservative position in Puerto Rico, is we want to be a state. Every time Puerto Rico says, hey, we want to be a state, we voted on it, and we want to be a state, that means that the Republican Party in Puerto Rico has won. Directly connected to the GOP at a federal level. So our right-wing conservative position in Puerto Rico, when Puerto Rico, everyone goes to vote, and they vote at who wants to be a state, when everybody says we want to be a state and that's what wins, that means most of Puerto Ricans are right-wing conservatives, because you have to have a right-wing for conservative position in Puerto Rico to align with the party that's their position. The Democrat position in Puerto Rico is we don't want to be a state. We want to be subservient. We want the rights of the federal, we want the right to own property. We want the American dollar. We like the Constitution of America. And we like the citizenship of America. And we like to serve in the military. We don't want our own military. We want the American military, and we will serve in the American military. And if you go per capita, we have a lot of service. So that is the Democrat position. Like, we want to be part of America, but we don't want to be a state. That's the Democrat position. When the position to become a state wins, that means conservative won. When the position we want to remain associated but not a state, that's the Democrat position. The independent position, also known as a socialist position, wants a complete break, which is the like half of the left. So the left is down to like 40%, and they're 40 or less, and they're splitting. They're basically splitting between hell no, I don't want to stop being an American citizen, which is the Democrat position, and I want to be a socialist, which is the I don't want anything to do with America position. So if Puerto Rico were to become a state, the likely outcome is that you would get 2 Republican senators, because that is the majority of the vote in Puerto Rico. And every time Puerto Rico says we would like to become a state, that's a conservative position. That's a Republican position in Puerto Rico. And I have been part of the Republican Party in Puerto Rico for decades. Over here, it has a different name because it's in Spanish. It's called the PNP. And the Democrats in Puerto Rico are called the PPD. The Popular Party Democrats, like Democrats, Popular Party Democrats. That's a PPD. Popular Party Democrats. They lost. The PNP is who won. Just so you can understand that. And I'm going to tell you something else. We all have to use an ID to vote. In Puerto Rico, there is a special ID to vote that is free, because we don't want anyone saying that it's too expensive. So everyone gets a free ID because we want to ID you if you're going to vote. It's complicated looking from the outside because a lot of these polls, they're made all over America, and they talk about Puerto Ricans, but they're not polls specific to the island. Yeah, the tax policy in Puerto Rico is like there's you don't have as much state tax. It used to be no state tax, but there's been some changes in it. And we have some problem. Yeah, Jennifer Gonzalez is the Republican governor. Yeah, she won. She's a Republican. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm gonna finish this thing. We can get back to that. So there's a lot of corruption. That's the point. There's a lot of corruption in the voting in South Korea. I wanted to reach that point because that was kind of like I want to get to the core problem of the South Korea election. The strongest documented elected integrity case does not depend on proving that the entire South Korean election was stolen. The record already includes manipulated and probably altered timeout data under criminal investigation, 117 alleged cases of turnout information entered before its stated reporting time, severe ballot shortages, investigations of election official, computer systems demonstrated contain serious vulnerabilities, more than 100,000 cyber attack attempts in 6 months, rapidly increasing North Korean cyber attack activity, and China. Systemic corruption uncovered inside National Election Commission. That's important. Continuing allegations concerning previous national election results. Like if North Korea can take money from its people and, and use it, like sell the country's resources and take millions of that to bribe the National Election Commission of South Korea. If North Korean can do that to South Korea, that's a problem. Because you don't care what the people want. You're just going to bribe the officials to make you favorable to North Korea and reunification, crazy shit. These problems establish a substantial election security and institutional trust problem in South Korea. So that's some of the things to go over with that. I think we're going to do the school stuff tomorrow. I'm probably going to work on the article today or tonight. And tomorrow we can go over the article on the K through 12 problems. I also want to post it like this is all about the infiltration of Qatar and Saudi Arabia into the schooling in K through 12. And them using NGOs and doing all that to make us hate Israel and love the IRGC, which is disgusting. But I started this conversation. Is Confucius classrooms, Qatar China totals be understood, research or trace? You see, they add these, I don't like this. Not necessarily the complete amount entered American school. That's an unnecessary qualifier because it doesn't matter to this statement. That means documented Qatar China totals should be understood as money researcher could not trace. Okay, so there's money that they could not trace. This qualifier doesn't matter. It's just a softener. Nearly 18 million traced to K through 12 school. China's Putin was even broader, defending. This is the problem. Like they're infiltrating the schools. And this is, I asked it about this. For your segment, the strongest historical chain is here. Qatar QFI money, school districts, and teaching and training. Qatar is trying to get Americans to love the IRGC and hate Israel. Foundation money, Mecca teach Palestine K-12 teachers. This is toward like training teachers. District contracts, AROC. This is Arab, what's it called? AROC is, let me see over here. AROC. Arab Resource and Organization Center. That's who AROC is. That's the contract. Let me see how much they got. I can't see the number here. A lot of these like 400,000, 430,000. over a million, over 10 million. See how Qatar is always at the top, 10 million FDDQ FI money, 24 public school districts plus 2 university training K through 12 teachers. Directly funded penetrates K-12 education and infrastructure. And here's an article about it. And the schools, like when I make my article, I'm gonna have all this information on the article, but this is all the school districts that they're penetrating. I think this is important because we don't want to train our children to love the IRGC and hate Israel, or love, any, Islamic fundamentalist or any type of religious, entity. They should be free to, have American values. So this is the Qatari funding and influence. So this is something I've been working on. I'm going to make the article. I've made a few articles. That's an article I'm working on. I want to make sure I have all the resources and all that, but I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. This has been a great show. Thank you for being with me. I hope none of you got too mad that I had to lay the law down again. But last time I did it, we were like at half the size we are now. So I had to like bring it up again and show everyone again, like, these things happen. We have to, show the people how it is sometimes. But above all, I want to bless you, chat. Bless your health. Bless your wealth. Bless your plans, your home, your family, your loved ones, and everything you touch. Peace.